screen and I've been recording the video. So
Okay, sir.
I will start now with the new Jupyter notebook. So guys, after 10 minutes, I will be taking a short 5-minute break because there's some internet connection issue that has been going on. So I'll resolve that and I will come back. Okay. Okay, so I will. Yesterday, basically, we have covered .ilog and .log. So anybody, any doubt in that?
No, sir.
Okay, sure. So I will start. So yesterday we have seen .ilog and .log. So today I will be telling you many more functions that we will be covering today. So before that, let me tell you that so I have certain data sets with me. So you can also like get these data sets. Okay, but I have some of the data sets with me. I'll say.
So can it be shared with by your team to the students so that they can download and do the same thing what you are teaching?
Okay, so what I'll do, just go here and say Google. So I'll use editor train bigmart.csv GitHub. You will get data from here only. You go to train.csv. Okay, just go to save as and save. Oh, sorry. Go to raw, right click, and then save as. Say class 4, you say train big mart, and you'll say save. Is that fine?
Okay, sir.
This is the data. I'll say okay, guys. So what you need to do? So I've been coming in just 5 minutes. The guy to rectify my internet is here. So I'll just take 5 minutes. So what you guys can do? Just open this data, upload this data into the Jupyter environment, and just practice with your log and ilog thing. And I'll come and I will start with the fresh one. I'll just I'll be back in just 5-7 minutes. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Just practice on this
Sir.
data. I'm just coming here. Yeah, sorry guys. So what I will do now, I will load this data. Okay, so the data was here.
So what is the name of the CSV file? What shall I search on Google?
You can say, okay, I guess the Google search is open. You say Big Mart sales. Big Mart sales and say GitHub.
Sir,
Okay, yeah.
so while we are saving, are we also
Okay.
changing the text file to all files? Like, can you please say how we are saving the file? I downloaded the file, but it is saying location not found.
Have you reached till here?
Yeah, sir. I've reached it here. While saving, sir.
Just click it, save as. Automatically it will save it in the CSV format.
So mine was coming as TXT, sir.
Then what you can
So
do
yeah,
is,
you have to do.
you can just copy it like this. Control A, Control C, open an Excel file. Open an
Excel.
Excel file. Say this is the Excel file. Just paste it here and say data, text to column, fixed with, sorry, delimited, next, say comma, next, and say finish. And now save it as a like
Excel.
any CSV file.
Okay, yes.
Save as. Say I will say desktop. You will say book one or whatever name. Say CSV.
Okay, sir.
CSV mentioned. CSV.
Okay,
So
sir.
can you show the process of getting the CSV file, because it's not, I cannot get it.
Okay. This is the file you got over the net.
No, sir, I didn't got it yet. It's Karina Saki. Karina Big
Just
Mart
go.
Mart sales.
Just go to GitHub. Say Google.
Okay.
Say Big Mart sales. GitHub. Press enter. It will say it might come with other names. So one the I downloaded was AK, this one AKKI 8087.
Okay, sir.
Just open it. Go to train.csv.
Yeah.
Go to raw.
So where do you click the raw?
Here.
Okay, sir.
Click on raw. Right click here. and type save as, and it will save it in CSV format, wherever location you want to save.
Sir, just now you have said that we can copy the total data and paste it in Excel, right? And we
Yeah,
can-
whatever option you want to say, this way is simple. In case this is not going with you, then you can copy the entire data, paste it in Excel, and delimit it with space, sorry, comma, and save it in CSV format. Both the ways will work for you.
Okay, sir.
Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what I'll do is, I'll go to the location. Sorry. Copy as path is not available. Okay. I'll copy the location. I'll say df is equal to pd dot,
Sir, import pandas as PD.
yeah, sorry. Import pandas as pd, shift enter. I'll say df is equal to pd dot read CSV. And I'll say R, and I'll paste this path like this. Like this, and else here I'll paste the name of the file. What was the name of the file? It was this. Dot CSV. I'll say shift enter. I'll say df. It will display me the df. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
And I'll say df dot columns. So now it will give me the columns. I'll say df dot head. It will give me the head, that is top 5 rows. So now another important command is, so it has various columns. So I'll
Sir?
take any, yeah.
Sir, I wanted to ask one thing related to this Jupyter notebook. Sir, how do you write that, sir? Like whenever you're writing pd.read, it is coming as, all the functions are already available in
So
Python.
when you write pd dot and then press, say re, then press tab,
Acha,
it will come.
okay, sir. Okay, understood.
Now if I'll say df dot group by, and I'll take any column which you want me to take. So I'll say the location type or whatever.
Sir, can you show the read CSV part of the code for a minute? Could you scroll up? Hello, sir. Are you
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, I'm here only.
Yeah. I wanted to see the read part of the CSV file. Could you show it?
So since my file is in Excel, I will write after my file name dot Excel now.
Here you say read.excel, read underscore Excel, and here as
Yeah.
well dot XLS or
Yes.
XLSX, whatever the thing is.
Yes, sir, I got it.
Can I scroll down?
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Now, if I'll say df.group by, so this command is very important and very interesting as well. So I will tell you, I will say outlet location type. So this will not give you, it will say, now when do you guys know what is group by? Let me tell you. If you have the data, say name, say age is salary, name is A, B, C, D, A, S, D, say whatever the name is. Age is say 21, 23, 34, 32, 23, 23, 32. Salary is say 2300, 3400, 4300, 4500, 5600, 4500, 4300. Now let's example, if you'll say group by name, then it will take this A and this A together. And it will say A for A, the age, average age is 22, average salary is say 4,000. For B, so it will group it. Are you guys with me? Are you getting me? So it will combine. Am I audible, guys?
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So it will combine. When I say group by, it will combine on the variable that we specify.
So
now,
it will take the average of the both, sir.
It's taking average of both.
yeah, so this option which the user has, either you can take the average or you can take the count, sum, whatever. I will show you.
Sir, does it work same as SQL?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the same thing as SQL. Yeah. Okay, so if I'll say here, so when I say df.group outlet location type, now it has made an object and saved it at this memory location. Now if I want to see it, it says on which parameters do you want to see it? If I'll say dot count, that's example. Now it will say for the location tier 1, this is the count of the different columns that we have. This has bifurcated it in the basis of the 3 tiers which we have and provided the counts, respective counts. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want a specific item out of it. I'll say item fat content, for example. So it will give me only the fat content for the items that we have filtered out.
So what count has done, sir?
The number of observations we have. So if I'll say here, if I'll say count, So how many people are there with the age, like with the A, where the age is present? 2. So how many? So let's example here I don't have the salary. How many people are there with the name A and salary is given? I'll say 1. With me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, but what you have specified in Jupyter notebook, I have not understood that.
So I have just taken df.group by. When I say group by, with this means I've been grouping the entire data frame by outlet location type. So location type is either in tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. So that is a thing which I have specified. Now after specifying that, what I have been trying to do, I said I want the count. Here you can mention the sum, mean, and n number of things as well. But for mean you need to use np numpy, which I haven't told. So I will stay here for count only. So once you have taken the count here, now what you will do is, now it will give the count of every column that I have, but I actually need a count of a particular say column. I want to select a particular column, so I have selected a item fat content type or whatever it is, and it is giving me that column only, count of that column only. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now, so basically, guys, let me tell you, when I say group by, so these things which we have been discussing right now are the Python aggregations. So aggregations is how to aggregate the data. For aggregations, we have different things here. One is group by. Second is pivot. Pivot table is a thing that we have, with the help of which we can group it by. Now, after this, so once I'll cover these things, then I'll be telling you about the basics of functions in Python. So when we say basics of functions, functions are basically created to so that we don't need to write a code multiple times. So common code, we write it for a like a single instance, and that code is reusable. So that is the thing that we do with the functions, which I will be telling you right now, just after just 5 minutes. Now within these aggregations, we have the capability to apply these functions. So don't worry about that. So I'll tell you. So the first thing is data aggregation. When we say data aggregation, it is done in pandas through group by, is a command that you have seen. I'll also show you some other commands for more practice for group by right now as well. So after this, we will go with the Python aggregations using pivot table. Have you guys used pivot table in Excel?
No,
How
sir.
many, how many of you have used pivot table in Excel? Just raise your hand. How many of you have used pivot table in Excel? Okay, one of the participant has raised hand. Okay, okay. So I'll tell you. Okay. So now okay, let's make it simple. What I'll do, I'll take a simple data here. I'll say data is equal to for name, I'll say location. With location, I'll say A, B, C, A, D, B. 6 locations I have taken. Then I'll take sales. With sales, I'll take the location, the sales of these locations. So a particular location sales has been reported from two vendors who are working there. So these are the different sales. So let's example in a particular location, say in Hyderabad, we have two vendors who basically supply some of the items on which my company is working on. So both the vendors are reporting their sales. So now the sales is say 100, 200, 300, 230, 120, 231, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's done. Okay. Now what it will do is I have stored it in data. I'll say it's a dictionary that I have made. So I will make it as say df1 is equal to pd dot data frame data. If I'll say df1, it will be the data frame that has been made, location and sales. Now I have the things mentioned, location and sales. So let's example, I'll say I want to see so the thing that we have seen yesterday. So let me say df1 where df1 location is equal to say a. Okay, if I'll do like this, so I need to arrange say lock. I'll say here shift enter, it will give me the locations where the sale is like this. Now so this is just for a like iteration that we have seen yesterday. If I'll say df1 dot group by location, okay, and I'll say dot mean. Now it will give me the average sales of A, B, and C and D concatenated, and the mean is being reported. Are you guys with me?
Sir, can you go to above ins? The one which is not can be seen. Like how do you create it from a small list to a data frame?
Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Now, when I have created a group by of the mean, so it is giving me this by mean. So now, let's example, I also want mean and median both. So I want two metrics to be reported, mean, median, count, whatever it is. I'll say import. So I have a library numpy as np. So as I mentioned you yesterday, it is for numerical calculations. So if I'll say now df1 dot group by location, and I'll say dot. So when I need to combine two functions, I'll say agg, and I need to pass it in list. I'll say np dot mean, and I'll say median as well, np dot median. I'll say shift enter. So it will give me, it will report two things here: sales of this location, the mean and median, both. Are you guys with me?
Sir, NP dot mean and NP dot medium I understood, but sir, then why have we written aggregate?
Because I have been, so whenever I have been aggregated numpy function with it, I need to write NP, and we have been using two metrics here, mean and median both. So this is required.
More like a syntax.
Yes, syntax, yeah.
Okay.
With me?
Sir, I didn't get the output for this.
So this is just like what we have done. We have basically taken the input, that is the data that we have created, and I said group by. Group by is a thing that you got. We are grouping it on the basis of the location. If a particular location has two values, say A and A, so the function of group by is it aggregates both the things, A and A together, B and B together, in whatever way user pass. So either you pass count, either you pass sum, either you pass mean, or whatever the thing is. The function of group by is to aggregate. Now I have aggregated it on the basis of mean and median both.
So you mean to say that all the A's in the data set and all the B's, it will provide the mean and medium of A and B and C and D respectively.
Yeah, so that that's a group by.
Okay.
Group by is
Okay.
group. So okay, let's example. You are different people. So what's your good name? The lady who was speaking,
So Nisha,
Nisha. Or what's any other name, like if anybody wants to take
Nishu,
Nishu. So let's say Nisha, Nishu, ABC, DEF, whatever it is. So now the thing is, two of the girls have the age say 25. Two of the girls have the age 30. So I'll say the girls with age 25 stand on the right, the girls with the age 30 stand on the left. So what I have been doing, I've been grouping on the basis of their age.
yes.
So now the same is a group by. I have been grouping on the basis of their, on the basis of say location. So I've been saying all the A's will be combined. Now if I'll say, okay, now say the group A of 25 years age, I'll say I will group you by your weight. Let's example, the weight came as say 52, and the other group I'll say I'll group by your age, by your weight only. The average came as say 56. So now I have grouped these two groups that we have formed on the basis of their weight, on the basis of their average weight. So that's the thing that I have done. So that is the thing that I've been trying to do here.
Okay, sir.
Anybody else, any doubt? Okay, now
Sir, 1 minute.
Yeah.
This means that you are grouping all the means and medians of A, B, C, D into one, right?
all the A's will be single A. Their average will be there. Like mean will be there, median will be there of their values, of all the values of A. And when we say B, C, D, E, in case there's any other value of B, C, D, then these values will also be grouped accordingly.
So 215 is the means of all B's and under 215.5 the medians of all B. You meant to say that, right?
So the upper value 165 is the mean of the values of A. The 165 is the median as well. So this is the thing that it is reflecting.
Okay, sir.
So now the other thing is, so I can go to my original data, that is DF. So I'll say DF dot columns. So if I'll say location, yeah, this one I'll choose. I'll say DF group by this location type. I'll say dot mean. So this will give me the average of all the columns. Tier 1 has average price of 140.8, tier 2 141, tier 3 140.9. Overall sales 1876, 2323 and 2279. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now I'll say similar kind of a thing. I'll say DF dot group by. So I'll take any two things. I'll say I have been grouping it on the basis of two things now. One is outlet location type. So this is like this. Comma, say item type. I've taken two. And I'll say dot. So it will first take the location, then what are the item types in it, and it will aggregate the weights. Similarly, it goes with the other tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 also as well.
So can you show the code, sir, for a minute?
Can I proceed?
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, it is like storing in a
Your voice is breaking. Come again.
yeah. I just muted myself. Yeah, so it is storing in a different location. So do I have to like save it and save it into a variable and then print it?
No, you can simply type like this and it will get printed.
No, it says
It
it's
says.
been an object at XXX.
So you want a specified mean. Please specify dot mean and it will not say like this in the end.
Yes, I got it. I had missed the brackets.
Yeah.
Okay,
So can I proceed?
thank you. Yes, sir, sure.
Okay. Okay. So now, before proceeding further on this, this part is pending because now what I'll do is I will mix this with the functions. So, but before that, let me tell you what are functions. Then I'll come to it and I'll combine it with the functions. Okay. So I'll say Uh, so functions, when I say functions, functions are the group of statements. Functions are the group of statements. And so let's say example. So I'll take an example with you. So so let's say example, every day you need to go to office, and there are 5 things which you need to carry every day. That is one notepad, one pen, and one your metro card. So these are the 3 things which you need to carry all the time, which you keep it in a bag. So what you do, what will you do, what will you do daily? So you keep it in say your bag, and every day whenever you need it, you pick this bag and you go. Is this all right? Is this the thing that you do?
Yes, sir.
So why you have kept it at in a bag? Because these are the 3 things that are basically required daily. With me? So same
Yes, sir.
So same is a thing that works for functions as well. So when we say functions, functions also require the same kind of a thing. The functions also require the same kind of a thing, where what we need to do is we need to group certain activities together. So if I'll tell you a very simple example of functions, so I will say every time, okay, I'll say def hello, and we'll say print good morning. Now whenever you say hello, it will say good morning. Okay, now this is a very simple example of function. Now here def is a keyword that is a keyword. Hello is the name of the function. This parenthesis I'll explain you. This is the body of the function, which means what function will be doing when you're calling hello, the name of the function. So here as well, if I'll say def abc is the function name that I'll make, and I'll say name. Okay, I'll say print good morning, and I'll say name. Okay, now I'll say shift enter. Now I'll say abc, and I'll pass say any name, say Nisha. So it will say good morning Nisha. So what it is doing, this Nisha is a parameter. So this name is a parameter which I'll ask the user to pass. Whatever user pass, it will add this and add this to it. Are you guys with me?
No, sir.
So I have defined this function. So I'll say def abc and name. So name, this def is a keyword to define a function. abc is the function name, and name is a thing that is a parameter. What is the benefit of parameter? That whenever we call a function abc and I pass this parameter, it will be used in the body of the function wherever it is used. So I said print good morning and name. So now when I say abc Nisha, so Nisha, now this name is being replaced with Nisha, and now it will say good morning Nisha, and that's the thing it prints. Is it fine now?
Okay, sir. So
Now
this, ABC is like it is defining good morning, right?
Sorry, come again.
ABC, if you press ABC, the good morning will come. If you keep the name inside of ABC parenthesis,
No, if I'll simply say ABC, it will not, it will ask for the parameters. It will say it is a function that has been defined. But if I'll say ABC and I'll pass any name, say Ajit, so it will say good morning, Ajit.
yes, sir.
I'll say def.
So there's a lot of background noise. I think you have to change your headphone.
No, not with me today. Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Because some of the people, they put themselves like not on mute, so that's why this comes. So I'll say def employee, and I'll say name, age, and salary, let's example. And here I'll say print hello name, your age is age, and I'll say and salary is, I'll say sal. Shift enter. Now I will say employee, and I'll say Ajit, age 22, salary 2300. If I'll say shift enter, it will say hello Ajit, your age is 22 and salary is 20. So I can here what I have used, I have passed 3 parameters in function. That earlier I passed a single parameter. Now I can perform some calculations here. So if I'll say def, I'll say sum, I'll say a comma b, I'll say sorry, print a plus b. I'll say sum 20 comma 30, it will say 50. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
Now if I'll say
Sir?
yeah,
Sir, what if I'm asking user to enter the number and, then?
so here you'll say
Equal to input of the number.
That's why I want to know how do I call the function then? Yeah, so that is print int of enter your number.
you will say q is equal to int input enter first number w is equal to enter second number, and here you will say sum q comma w. Enter first number, you say 21, 22, and say 40.
Yes, sir.
So instead
Any-
of Q and W, you can leave A and B on here, right?
So A and B I have used here. So when I use it, it's not good to use A and B again. I can do that. Say I'll say A, I'll say B,
How do I input a string? str of input.
str, yeah. A, say B, this first number 23, 23, 40. It will do. But the thing is, ideally, it should not be a good thing. It is entering any number apart from the ones that you have used. With me?
Yes, sir.
Anybody, any doubt? So yeah, somebody asked to string, you say s is equal to str input, enter your name. I'll say this, enter name. I'll say my name is Amrit. That's not. I'll say shift. I'll say enter. So now if I'll say S, it will be Amrit. Are you with me? Okay. Now a small thing for you guys. So, but okay, what I'll do, I'll say diff. So I'll write a function that will count the numbers between 1 to like the number of even numbers that come between 1 to 100. I'll say def count even start, and I'll say f is equal to 0. I'll say for I in range, say start comma end. So I'll tell you why I have said n plus 1, and I'll say if I n plus 2 equal to 0, f is equal to f plus 1, and here I will say is print f. So I'll say count even 1 to 100. It will give me there 50 even numbers between 1 to 100. The thing is, I said, did you get this program?
No, sir.
So here what I have been trying to do, I have been trying to count the number of even numbers between 1 and 100. So to count that, what I have been doing, I have given this. I made a function that is count even, and within this count even, what I have been doing, I've been saying, I mentioned start and end. So if I'll say range, so okay, just be here with me. For I in range 1 to 100, so 1 to 10, print I. Let's example, I'll say. Now it will print the values from 1 to 9. So whenever I mention 1 to 10, it excludes the last value. So here I said, so start and end, user will enter. Let's say example, user enter 1 for start and 100 for end. I'll say for I in range 1 to 100 will become 101. So we'll say if I ampersand 2 is equal to 0, then f is equal to f plus 1. Like whatever the value of f will be, every time, every number that is divisible by 0, then value of f that I have divided as 0 will be incremented by 1, and I'll say print that, and it came as 50. With me?
Sir, can't we use F plus plus here?
Yeah, you can use that. I don't know whether it works here.
No, it doesn't because I've used F plus plus.
So it was for C++ that works there. So it doesn't work here. Or you can say f plus is equal to 1. I guess this will work. Yeah, this works. Both are okay. F is equal to f plus 1 or f plus is equal to 1. With me? Anybody, any doubt? Can I proceed further if you don't have any doubt?
Yes, sir.
So now I am giving a small
Yes,
exercise
sir.
to you. So now I am giving a small exercise to you in which you need to count. Okay. I'm writing it here. Between 9900 to 20,000, you have to count the number of odd numbers that comes between those. So I'll give you 5 minutes and just try to write this program. And after that, I will write. It's similar to the one that we have used over.
So can you scroll up to above 40?
Just practice it, guys. I'm here only.
Sir, is the answer 5050?
Okay, great. Everybody solved it?
No, sir.
You guys take your time. Are we done? You guys, are we done?
Yes, sir.
Everybody?
Can you explain it?
Yeah.
Sir, I have few doubts, sir.
Yeah, please.
No, sir, after you answered the coding, sir, then
Okay. So this is the same thing. Start and, I'll say start and if. So when a number is divisible by 0, it is the even number. In case it is not, then I'll say then it is an odd number. It will remain same. I'll say shift enter. Now I'll say, oh, okay, I'll change the name of the function. I'll say it's count odd. I'll say shift enter, and I'll say count odd. I'll say 9900, and I'll say 2. I'll say 5050. Yeah.
Thank
Any doubts?
No, sir.
Sir, can you explain those symbols like for equal to 0 you have keep double equal to, and for not equal to you have kept exclamatory mark and equal.
So this is equal is assignment operator. When you say A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, this means it is assigning 10 to A and 20 to B. This is assignment operator. If I'll say A double equal to 10, this means it will check if A equal to 10 or not. It will say if it is equal. If I'll say this symbol not equal to 10, then this will say this is not equal to. If I'll say A less than 2, this is less than symbol. If I'll say A greater than 3, it is a greater than symbol. So these are the common symbols that we use.
Okay, sir.
Now I'll say, yeah, anybody any doubt till
yes,
now?
sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I'm having a doubt, and sir, I am getting indentation error, sir.
Where?
So actually, my code is not like that. But sir, can you please explain when and where we can write for and then if and things like that?
Okay, so let me tell you what is for loop. If I'll say, if I need to iterate a particular thing multiple times, then I use for loop. I'll say for I in 10, print I. It will say it cannot iterate to 10, but if I'll mention here, say range, so it will go from start from 0 and end still 9. So it iterates every time. And if I'll say range 10 and I'll say 4 or say 5, I'll say, okay, I'll say 1 to 10. It will start from 1 and it will say, if I'll say 2, so it will start from 2 and ends at 9. This is start number and this is the end number. If I'll say 2 to 10 and I'll say 2. So now it will increment every time by 2. This is a for loop. If statement is simple. If A is equal to 10, print good, else print bad. sorry, a equal to I need. So the value of a is not 10. So it said bad. So here what I have been doing in this function, I have been defining a function where I'll say start and end is a value which I've been asking from user, and I'll say if I in range is the thing that I mentioned. It starts from this number which user will pass, and is again the number which user will pass. I'll say if I percentage 2 not equal to 0, that is when the user said say start from 1 and go to 10. If I that is 1, so I will start from the first number, that will start. User said, say user mentioned here count odd, and he want the output from 1 to 10. So it will, I will first come to 1. If 1 ampersand 2, if I'll divide 1 by 2, if it is 0, then it will say increment f by 1, else it will not do anything. Then it will come to second number 2, and every time till the time it crosses 10, it will perform this calculation and keeps on incrementing f by 1. Are you with me?
Yeah, sir, actually after for we have to write if after the for right statement, like we cannot write just below for if statement.
Yeah, okay, this is indentation, because
It
if I,
automatically indents
yeah, when you place
if you add a
this,
colon.
yeah, this colon here, it automatically comes here. If you don't add this colon, it will go there. So you might have forgot to enter this colon here.
Okay. And sir, also one more doubt I have is that we here we have written print f. So it is in the for loop or outside the for loop?
Outside the for loop. The time when it comes in alignment with the for loop, then it will say outside the for loop. If I'll write it here within the for loop, then
Okay.
every time it will do, it will keep on printing. So if I'll say shift enter here, okay, let me do this.
Sir, I guess you have to remove that count
Yeah,
1,
yeah.
10.
So here say count, say 1 to 100. Sorry, count odd. Sorry.
Count odd.
So every time it will 1, 2, 3, 4. Every value it is printing. But I actually want whatever is fine with the loop, whatever is going fine with that comes. So that's why I mentioned it here.
Okay. And sir, one last thing, sir. Sir, we have written f equals to 0 above the for loop. Had we written inside the for loop?
Then every time it will assign, it will make f0.
Yes, sir. My output was coming 0 only earlier.
Yeah. So if you mention here, let's say 0 within loop, every time I will come and it will make f0, and it will not increment it, because every time it will be 0.
But sir, we have written increment f plus 1.
So every time, if I'll say every time you increment it with a value and again make that value 0, then every time it will be 0 only.
Okay. Okay, sir. Understood. Okay, sir.
Sir, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Sir, if we remove that define count or start and if we put a 0, it will count all the numbers between 1 to 100, right?
Come
All
again.
the odd numbers.
What do you want to remove?
The first two sentences, define count or start comma and f equal to 0.
Then you need to pass the values here. So then in that scenario, it won't be a function. It will be a simple for loop like this.
But f is supposed to be defined, right?
Yeah, f needs to be defined, one. Yeah, and second is here you need to mention the value, say 10 to 100, for example. Here the start and end won't work. You need to specify the values. and it will say 45.
Okay, so for specifying that values, we'll be writing a defining statement, right?
Def statement is function. You're making a function.
Okay, sir.
So
If I want to show all the odd numbers between 10 to 100,
then you can say,
Print I.
yeah, here you see print I. So over the function here as well. Print I, yeah. This will give all the odd numbers.
okay, sir.
So now what I want you guys to say, write a program to find bigger of two numbers in a function. With me?
Sir, what do you mean by bigger?
The user will pass two numbers. So I'll ask you to input two numbers, say 5 and 7, and it will say 7 is bigger out of the numbers which user has entered.
Okay, sir.
Sir, sir,
Yeah, please.
sir, actually I have written a program in a string. There's one
Mhm.
program, but due to some indentation error, I'm not getting the output as desired. So can we discuss that after the class, sir?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So after the class, when when I wrap up the class, be here only, and I will see your program. Or if you want, I can see it tomorrow as well in the doubt session. Whatever is fine with you.
Okay, tomorrow also, sir. Actually, sir, today if you say, then I can practice other programs as well.
Okay, sure, sure, sure.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Are we done?
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. Is it like this only?
Uh, yes, sir, but I just added extra statements.
Okay. Okay. But the logic is same.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I just wrote if x is greater than b. I mean, x is greater than y instead of
Yeah.
x
Okay.
is less than y.
Yeah. One is the same thing.
Yeah.
So now I will, if I'll say,
Sir,
yeah.
so can we store this uh, def big xy in some variable?
No.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Just give me a
Okay.
second. I'll tell you. So okay. So the thing is, for example, I'll say instead of print. So if I make a function, I will say def abc. Say if I say def sum a comma b, and I'll say print a plus b. I'll say shift enter. I will say sum 10 comma 20. It will say 30. But if I'll say s is equal to sum 10 comma 20, it will say, and I'll say s will not return anything because the value is being printed here. But same function, if I'll use like this, def, and here I'll say
S is equal to a plus b.
no, return a plus b, whatever, and I'll say sum 10 comma 20 30. If I'll say s is equal to sum 10 comma 20, and I'll say s will give me 30. So whenever you need to assign it to another variable, you use this return statement instead of print.
So we
It will
can
be-
like even write s is equal to a plus b and then return s.
yeah.
Yeah, right?
One is the same thing. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
we can return any like variable or any character like boolean also we can return
Yes.
like true false also.
Yeah.
Come again, I didn't get you.
She's asking if you can return any other data type instead of int,
Integer.
like boolean or string or anything. So I said yes.
Yeah.
Sir, actually, can you write one program?
Yeah, please tell me.
So it is by def big bracket c comma d. If c is greater than d,
Hmm.
so now I want to return that. What should I return it here? Here I'm stucking. Like return true or return c. What should I return it here?
You say, if we'll say return C greater than D, return C, else return D.
So do we need to write the else option, or it is understood by default?
No, 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 no. If you don't want anything to be returned, in case it is not C, then you don't have to write else. In case you want to return, then you need to write else.
Else statement. Okay. Okay, sir.
Now, write a program, a last program, to find factorial of a number. That is, if I'll say 4, then it will be as 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If I'll say 5, then it will be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So ask a user to pass a value, and it will calculate its factorial. Please let me know once you guys are done, or I'll write here as well. You, I'll say
Done, sir.
okay. Is it similar to the thing that I have written? Sorry, there's some error in it. I in, okay. I mentioned I here. Should be 1. Yeah. Is it similar to the thing that I've written here?
got sir didn't and was not able to write the code, sir.
Sorry, come again. I didn't get you.
Sir was not able to write the code, sir.
Okay. Who has completed?
Sir, what is it?
Sorry. Sir, I have a doubt. I
Yeah,
don't know
please.
where I've made mistake. Like the code is same, but I guess the function is not calling. I don't know.
What you have written?
Uh, uh, yeah. So A is equal to int of input, enter any number, def fact of A colon f is equal to 1 for I in range of 1 comma a plus 1 colon f is equal to f star I and print f. It's similar, like it's the same. I don't know. It's not getting printed. Any
Just
idea
try.
why?
So, I haven't seen the code, so I
It's
cannot.
the
So,
same, sir. It's the same. Just the thing is, instead of S, I've used A.
so I'll change it to A. It's example A and A.
And even D, I've written it as A. So is that an issue? I
Just
don't think
change it to D. Just change it to D. I don't think it will make a difference.
so. Because the previous
Have you
program as well,
have
everything
have,
was the same.
have you assigned F is
Yeah.
equal to 1?
Yes, yes, yes.
You mentioned
The
F is equal
code
to
is same.
and here it is 1 only,
Yes,
and here it is I only.
yes,
Here for I in range 1 to
yes.
A
It's
plus
the
1, F is
same.
equal to F into
It's
I,
the same.
and print is
Printf.
in no printf is
Yes, yes,
indentation to the 4 only.
yes,
Okay,
yes, sir. It's
you
the
can
same.
share your screen with me in case you want to.
Yeah, just a minute.
Just give me a second. I need to see if like you are allowed to share the screen or not. Just give me a second.
It's kind of taking a lot of time to compile.
Okay.
Like there's a star mark in the input part.
I don't know whether I have the option to like if you're unable to share your screen. Do you but see a button where you can share your screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please share your screen.
You have to give me permission. You
Yeah,
have
so
to enable the screen sharing part.
that's the option I don't have. Video
You
share.
must be having, sir, because you're the host.
Yeah, I'm checking like just give me a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Optimize. Uh, I don't know why it is not coming. Just give me a second. Let me see again. But in the meanwhile, you can just try it again.
Sir, meanwhile, you can please explain the code, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the code is okay. Let me explain. I am not getting that option. So it might be because sometimes they disable for me as well. Like for me to allow people to share. So or let me explain. So in case it's not working, just try to write it in this try to write again. Try to copy the same thing which I have written. In case it doesn't work, then I'll see it. So here I'll say fact A, any number.
Yes, sir. Got it. Got it.
Okay,
I cleared the output and I ran the kernel again.
okay. So I'll say def.
I reran the kernel.
Okay. I'll say def fact A. A is the thing that user will pass. I'll say f is equal to 1. I said f is equal to 1. For I in range, I will start from 1 and goes to A. Say if the user says 4, it will start from 1 and go to 4. So I will be 1, I will be 2, I will be 3, and I will be 4. The time that is 4, this for loop will end. And then I'll said f is equal to f into I, which means for the first iteration, f is equal to f into 1. Now f will be 1. Now I will go and I will be 2. Now f is equal to 1, f is 1 only. Now this f is equal to 1 into 2, that will be 2. Now f will be 2. In the third iteration, when I will be 3, this will be f is equal to 2 into 3, that is 6. And the fourth iteration, it will be 4. It will say 6 into 4, 24, and 24 is being thrown here. Are you guys with me?
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
can you explain once again f equal to f into y?
So I said I is for I in range 1 to say A is say 2, let's say 3, whatever it is. So it is 3, then it will be 6. So I in range 1 to 3. 3 is the value. If it will say f is equal to f into I. For the first iteration, I will be 1. So f will become 1 automatically. Second iteration, f will be 2. So it will be f is equal to, that is 1 into 2. F will become 2. In the third iteration, when I will be 3, it will say f into I. In the second iteration, f was 2. So it will say 2 into I, that is 2 into 3. It will become 6, and 6 will be thrown as output.
Okay, sir.
Yes,
Anybody
sir.
else? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Guys, so this is the end of the functions that we have been discussed. So this is not the end of the functions. I will tell you many more functions, but the thing which I need to tell you is how to use these functions along with the pandas library that we have used using the lambda function. So the things that I will cover are lambda function. Lambda function is a combination of, when we try to write this function in a single line, then it is known as a lambda function. So let me tell you. Okay, so I will tell you this lambda function. So are you guys well versed with the function, and I'll jump to lambda function if it is fine? Or do
Yes,
you
sir.
want? So okay. So lambda function is when we write this function in a same line of a code where we have been writing like executing a program. So I'll say, I'll take an example. Say if I'll say y is equal to lambda b plus 10. Okay, I'll say shift enter. If I'll say y, okay, and I'll pass value of b, say 2. So it will be 12. So this function means I am saying def y, say b plus 10, and I'm saying return. So this value that I have written or this. Have the same meaning. This is one which I have just simplified in a one statement, and this is the two-line statement of the function that I have made. Are you guys with me?
No, sir.
That's why I said, in case you're not well versed with functions, then you have 2 days.
Sir,
That is,
uh,
Sir, can you say this lambda function in next class if you don't mind?
yeah, I'm fine. So yeah, some other. I heard another voice as well.
yeah, it is me, sir. So, can't we write the factorial function as lambda function? Like, can
Yeah,
we
we
write?
can. We can. So this is just an example which I've
Like,
taken.
could you like write it now, sir? Like, just copy paste the code if it is possible.
So yeah, but you can try it, and I'll see it tomorrow. And in case it doesn't work, then I'll write it tomorrow in tomorrow class.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
So okay, guys. So before you leave, tomorrow there is a class at 12 noon, and that is a doubt class. So in case you have any doubt regarding any of the thing that we have been trying, that we have been solving, then you can come, you can join that session. In case you don't have any doubt till the sessions that we have covered now, then you can like, it's your wish if you want, and if you don't want. But tomorrow there won't be anything that I'll be proceeding with, or any new step or new thing that I'll be covering tomorrow. It will be just the clearing of any doubt if anybody has. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir. Sir, but after this
Sir, thank you.
basics,
Yeah.
sir, can I
Yeah.
speak?
Yeah,
After
please.
this Python basics, can you once again explain the linear regression thing?
Yeah. So that is the thing I will explain once we will start the machine learning. I will explain.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So somebody wants any of the thing needs to be discussed.
Sir, Nisha wants to explain regarding some program, I hope.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yes, sir. Actually, my program is running, sir, but the output is not as desired.
So tell me, what is the program?
Sir, actually, I'm asking the user to enter the letter, and I'm checking whether the letter is vowel or not.
Okay.
So should I
I
ask?
think the code for that is different.
No,
Yeah.
actually,
So
as of my indentation error is the reason, sir. Maybe.
okay, your indentation is not right.
Yes, sir.
So
Because
what?
actually, every time it is saying the letter entered is vowel, letter entered is vowel. Can you please tell me where am I wrong?
So the thing is, I have been saving. So when it comes to indentation, so it is basically the thing like this colon is so when you enter the colon, whenever you press enter, so start writing from there only. That is the only problem that comes when with indentation. So what I can do is, I can save this file in your portal, just copy this and just replicate your program within these codes, and it will work.
But sir, I have not done via function. It is in a for loop.
Okay, so if I'll say, so it will be something like that for
The
I
n, yes,
in.
sir. I have asked the user to enter the letter, and it is stored in a variable called n.
Okay, if I'll say
And I
if, so but you need to specify. So say you say it like this, a,
yeah, this I made a list, sir, named as vowel.
okay, a e
I
I, say I'll say like this only.
yeah,
Say I'll say ls,
yeah.
l is
Okay.
equal to, I'll say shift enter. I'll say if, so if I'll say
For
for
n
I
in
in l, let's example,
Okay.
print I. It will AI. So if I'll say in the same statement, if I'll say for I in L, if A is equal to I, then say print its vowel. So here as well, it's an indentation problem.
So what is A, sir?
A is a value which user
Okay.
will pass
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
like this, and it'll say like this. It'll say else print its not. If we'll try this, and if we'll say A is equal to S, let's example, it will say it's not. But in case you want to escape this, say it won't say multiple times,
Yes.
then so this is the problem that you're getting.
Yeah, sir. Actually, yes. It is every time it is saying vowel, vowel, vowel.
Yeah, so it is why, because every time you are iterating it, it will say like this. So here it is a problem. So that's the thing. So here you actually what you want, if A equal to I, then you will say print wow, say whatever is vowel. No, just give me a second. How do we take it outside the indentation? So this will also won't work. I'll say, so here it will say, so now you will say it's E.
It's going into the else part.
So it's a vowel. In case it is not
Yeah.
U, it will not print anything. This is the thing you want.
Yes, sir. More like I want the else part also to be printed, like I have written in the program.
Then you can say that if it is not, then if I'll say else, and you'll say print not. So here with this thing, it will always go into this iteration,
Every
because
time. Okay.
and if you'll do like this, it will not go into iteration, and it will print if it is a vowel only. Say
Okay.
D. It will not
Sir,
say. Yeah.
instead of that, like, can we use the if else part? I mean, like, if
Yeah.
I is equal to A, or instead of the for loop.
No, for loop is required because this is in list, and I need to iterate the list. Are you with me?
So I do not need to write the else statement.
So yeah, in this, so before this, if like somebody was saying like we don't require the for loop.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was I was just answering to that.
Okay.
Yeah, so the okay, I heard someone saying that we should not we should only use the if and else statement. So if I'll use only if and else statement, then this for like list iteration won't be feasible, won't be possible. Okay, I'm able to answer your question.
Yes, sir, but like if you try keeping it in a list and then use for loop, and then if you have to check if it is not a vowel, it keeps on printing the not a vowel, not a vowel every time it iterates.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
can't that be what do I say? Removed, like every time it prints not a vowel.
So
So
here
if
here will say else if is like this or this.
so
Elif,
elif
yeah. Elif a not sorry not equal to I, print not. So here if I'll say okay, now it will say okay, let me reiterate this.
it's still like no.
Yeah, else print exit. Let's example I'll say. Now also it will do. So normally what we do in this
Now
scenario,
also it prints the same.
So
yeah,
can we use
now,
break statement, sir?
yeah, break statement we can use. It says wow and it will say
Break.
break, and here it will say not and it will say break, and will you I'll say delete, I'll say shift enter. Yeah, now it's working. Yeah,
Now it's working. Yeah.
yeah. Break and continue are the two statements. I forget those, so I'll explain these statements to you as well on Monday.
Sir, one more thing, sir. So here you have written if A equal to I. Can I also write if A in L?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, sir.
So yeah, for the other one who wanted lambda to be converted into factorial, just try it, and in case we won't be able to, then I will explain it. Okay, guys. Okay.
Okay, so
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. So we'll meet. So in case anybody has a doubt, then you can join that session tomorrow at 12. It will be a short session. Okay. And okay, guys.
okay, sir, good night.
Okay. Good night.